Jöreget kívánok, hogy vagy? Boy, to think that in just about 2 weeks, I think, something like that, 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to be standing in front of the computer or my little cell phone like this, saying Jöreget kívánok from Budapest. Can you imagine? You know, the thought, I was talking to somebody about that the other day, and this is probably going to sound like a broken record for a lot of people that have been following me, but the, the thought of waking up one day and stepping on a plane and just basically changing your life, just changing your life overnight. It's one thing to go on holiday. It's one thing to go on vacation for a week or go away for a weekend or buy a camper and travel around the country for 3 months. It's one thing to do that. I laugh. Man, my dad's up there. He's saying, "You laugh." I used to laugh, but it's one thing to do that. It's a completely another thing to 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 get on a plane and go halfway around the world and just immerse yourself into a whole different society, a whole different culture, a whole different way of life. It is it's really something else. And boy, there's not a moment that goes by that I don't realize how fortunate I am to be able to do that. And that being said, I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there that would have absolutely no desire. They'd have absolutely no desire to do such a thing, and that's all well and good. I read once that the majority of people never move away more than they never leave more than a 50-mile radius of where they're born. I believe that's to be true. Most people never leave about a 50-mile radius from where they've been born, and that's an interesting thing. When I was a young, what's the expression, whippersnapper or something like that. I couldn't wait. I, I couldn't wait to get out of where I was. I couldn't wait to get out of Cleveland, and I don't know why. Maybe I was just itching to travel the world or something like that. But anyway, I went to sleep last night rather late. I haven't been able to sleep. That well, but that's okay because I'm still getting some sleep and I'm still productive. So that's as long as I'm still productive, then that is the most important thing. But I've been sitting at my computer from like 8 o'clock in the morning till 9, 10 o'clock at night, and last night I was working there till about 10 o'clock. And as I was getting ready to go to bed, I looked over and I saw this new book that had arrived. Look at this book. Now, in my industry, my profession, they call this the Rhino book. It's the Rhino book, but it's JavaScript, the definitive guide, and at the definitive guide at 1,000 and I don't know, 1,100 pages. At 1,100 pages, this thing has got to be definitive, or so one would think. But this is the sixth edition, and as I sat there getting ready to wrap up the day's work, I saw that book sitting there, and at the same time that I saw that book sitting there, I saw the third edition sitting in the garbage can. And the third edition was I don't know how long ago I bought that, 15, 20 years ago, something like that. But JavaScript is a programming language that I use every day, and I know just enough to make myself dangerous, as the saying goes. And but I'm resolved to learning this. It's going to be a long flight to Moscow. I got to have something to read. But anyway, so I get this book, and and I bought it a few days ago, mind you. But I found myself thinking, am I going to buckle down and actually read the book this time? Am I going to do it? And as I started to go to bed, I started to think of a quote that I've used all my life, and the quotes goes something like it goes something like the path to failure is paved with good intentions. The road to failure is paved with good intentions. I've been using that all my life, telling people, the road to failure is paved with good intentions. Well, just out of curiosity today, I Googled that as I was waking up, coming down the steps. I just Googled the road to failure, and it's not the road. It's the road to hell. That's the original saying. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And somewhere along the line, some politically correct Yahoo probably said, no, we can't say hell because hell would imply that there's a heaven. And we can't have a good saying like that, can't have a good saying like that saying the road to hell. It's got to say the road to failure. And, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so if it's the road to hell is paved with good intentions, all these years, I feel like it. Maybe I've been on a highway. maybe my road, maybe my road has been a highway because my God, all the good intentions that I've had over the years, all the good intentions. I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, and what have you. But who knows? Maybe this good intention will be completed or fulfilled, so to speak. But not a lot more, not too much else on my mind. Just most of the time, right now, it's just all about. It's really all about work. It's really all about work. I've got more work than you can than I could shake a stick at, so to speak. And it's all good work. It's all challenging work. Speaking of challenging, I've got a client that I think I mentioned this in an earlier video this week. I've got a client that's given me 17 grand to run pay-per-click ads. The little ads that 1 out of 100 of you people watching click on the top of the page. That's the statistic. About 1 out of 100 people will click on one of those ads at the top of the page. But anyway, so this guy's given me 17 grand to advertise on the on Google. And what's interesting with that is that, and this may fall under the category of more than you need or want to know, but one of the biggest challenges when you have a website is when you're doing online marketing. It's called search engine marketing. When you're doing search engine marketing, traffic is people are clicking on those little links and they're going to your website. Well, you have to try your best to figure out, when somebody picks up the phone to call you or somebody fills out a form to, request information or appointment or something like that. You've got to figure out where it came from. Did it come from, the in this case, $17,000 you're spending on advertising, or did it come from, somebody seeing a billboard or somebody just searching for your company? So that's the real tricky aspect to running a pay-per-click campaign. But what I decided to do, and I may have mentioned this before, but what I decided to do was just to buy a well, as I was telling my client, buy a bitchin template. Just buy a beautiful, beautiful template. There's a website called Envato, Envato, Envato Market. And if you go there and just type in websites or whatever, you'll see all these off-the-shelf, incredibly designed websites that you can buy. And so I bought one of these templates for about 15 bucks, and it's incredible. I mean, it's got stuff flying in and dropping in and popping in and all that kind of stuff. But now comes the part of putting it all together in such a way that after somebody clicks, they see what you want them to see. But anyway, so what I was doing was I decided to make a completely standalone website just to facilitate the pay-per-click, and it'll be interesting to see because the traffic to that site will come from only one place, and after a month we'll know whether he got his money's worth or not. But anyway, we'll see. You know, the fact that a guy would entrust me with that kind of money is just well, for me it's mind blowing. You know, for a guy to write me a check and say, hey, go do this, and you know, for that type of money, it's just mind blowing. Now this is the same guy that just bought a 75,000 square foot building to put his car collection of American muscle cars in it. He's working up towards 250 cars. I think he's got about 120 right now. But anyway, that's about it. That's about all that's on my mind today. You know, I was watching the McCain. I say that's all that's on my mind today, and I go into talking about McCain. But I was watching some of that ceremony yesterday and the flag draped coffin, and yeah, I couldn't help but to think of the funeral that we had for my father last year. And you know, there was a moment in that in what I was watching. There was a moment in what I was watching that just broke my heart, and that was when excuse me, that was when his daughter just broke down. I think Cindy McCain just broke down in tears as she went up to the casket. And boy, you know, it's tough to lose somebody. It really is. It really is tough to lose somebody that you loved. But anyway, so let's do the talking about somebody that you love. Let's do the high hope today for my. We'll do one for my dad. Get street smart. That's a quote for today. Get street smart. There's study smart and there's street smart. There's education and there's self-education. The ideal is a combination of the two. One without the other ultimately brings limitations. But if you have to choose, err on the side of street smart. Isn't that something? Okay, err on the side of street smart. But the quote today is from George Santana, who lived from 1863 to 1952. And George said, a child educated only at school is an uneducated child. So there you go. There's your high hope for the day. Anyway, have a nice day, everybody, all right? Take good care. I think I had a comment. Maybe I can see. Let's see. Somebody wrote, failures help us become a better person if we learn from the mistakes. Ah, so true. You know, Melissa's always got these. That was from Melissa up in Georgia, and she's always got these wonderful, encouraging words of wisdom and what have you. So, all right, have a nice day, everybody. Take care.